Coming up on Bloom, meet a dynamic woman helping fight and heal autoimmune diseases in the kitchen.
So I would just make this beautiful food and then go to the grocery store and change all the ingredients and fail many times until finally I became like a master allergy adaptive chef.
And a young teacher whose deceased father is surely smiling down on her tremendous successes in life. Plus, a college student raising thousands of dollars for puppies in need. We'll have all that and more as Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, starts now. I'm Gayle Guyardo. Welcome to Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, a full hour dedicated to your health and wellness. So get ready to bloom. 50 million Americans struggle with autoimmune disease. That's about 1 in 10 people, and about 75% of those affected are women. And there is more evidence pointing to our gut health as a major issue that contributes to autoimmune issues. Our next guest has become a leading expert on how food can reduce inflammation and help you heal from autoimmune diseases. She went from death's door to thriving after healing herself and reimagining classic Southern recipes. Joining me now is the author of My Kitchen Cure, How I Cooked My Way Out of Chronic Autoimmune Disease, and My Pinewood Kitchen, a Southern culinary cure. Me, Tracy McCormick. Welcome to Bloomy. It is such a pleasure to meet you.
Yay, I'm so happy to be here.
So tell me a little bit about your backstory. In your own words, you said you went from being clueless in the kitchen to now mastering these incredible recipes that not only taste great, but they help us heal.
Oh man, I went from being the worst cook in the world and shopping via the pictures on the box in the frozen food section. Like cooking in me, I was like, oh, it's pretty. We should make it in the oven, freeze it in the microwave. And honest, because there's a lot of shame around the way we cook and what we don't know how to cook and what we do. So then I was really sick. I had an ulceration, the total circumference of my small intestine.
Wow.
And my intestines were about to burst. And I heard a voice. I had all these medicines lined up, and they didn't know exactly what was causing the ulceration or what they were going to do, and I wouldn't survive a biopsy because the ulceration was really, my intestines were going to burst. So I heard this voice, and the voice said, "What's in it?" And that's my inside voice, right? And I listened to that, and then I applied it not to the medicine, but to the food. And I thought the only thing that's touching the lining of my intestines is food. It's got to influence it. Now, this is 17 years ago when no one was writing about gut health. No one was talking about healing with food. The only options were macrobiotic food or vegetarian. Right? Mm-hmm. And we were like, that's weird.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Especially when you live in the South.
Right,
they're like, what
right.
do you mean you're not going to have any chicken?
Right.
So, where's the chicken? So,
where's that yard bird?
Yeah, I want that yard bird. So I was like, I'm a pioneer. Who knew I'd be out there finding my way? And we were ranchers, and we were raising cattle. And my husband's family started the first chain of grocery stores, Winn-Dixie. So I came from this big grocery family, and I could not eat the food in the grocery store because I could not even swallow water.
Wow.
So I had access to all this incredible food, and it didn't matter. So I started working with a woman who was a macrobiotic counselor, and I did that for a while. And I was just like a wild woman in the kitchen, but I'm really blessed. Dr. Joan Borncinco, who's a Harvard cellular biologist, she has 3 PhDs from Harvard, is like one of my adopted mamas. And she said, Mimi, you have to change your food. And she started sending me articles. Now this is pre-microbiome conversation. Mm-hmm. So not until 2009 did the first articles really come out on microbiome. 2017 really hit a lick, and now we're where we are. So I started researching every food and what it would do in my body. What does an avocado have in it? Vitamin this, vitamin that, and fiber. And then I just became a mad, wild scientist in the kitchen. Well, then I decided, because my husband had a project in Los Angeles, and that he was in LA, we moved the kids back and forth between Nashville, that I would go to culinary school. And I went to culinary school after being diagnosed with celiac. At the time I couldn't digest dairy. I couldn't try one thing that I made in culinary school. So I would just make this beautiful food and then go to the grocery store and change all the ingredients and fail many times until finally I became like a master allergy adaptive chef. And I got well, and I'm great.
That's incredible. I mean,
Great.
What an incredible journey. And to think this was all transpiring 17 years ago. And I think that's when the rest of us were eating our way into autoimmune diseases. I mean, like we wake up, and I was one of them, and I've had to completely change my diet. We just don't realize until now. I mean, you were so forward thinking back then, and so blessed to have that voice from inside you say, I got to make some changes, because many, especially women, are getting sick.
Well, we're getting sick now. And you know, when I was a kid, my mother had Crohn's disease, and no one else had Crohn's disease that I knew of. And people didn't seem to have cancer every other person. And no one's mama was sick. And so I grew up watching my mother not be able to eat. And when I was really sick, I just didn't want to be here, and I had little girls, and I wanted to save time. You know, I thought every time I go in the kitchen, I know we feel like cooking is an annoying waste of time, but it's the way we can save time. And I feel like we're either eating to speed up death or slow it down.
I agree.
And
Amen.
we're going to church.
Yeah, let's go.
You know, it's just so. It's you know, I'm vibrant about it because I have bought a great life by working in my kitchen, meaning I bought time. I cooked my way through it, and I still have to cook my way through it because I have permanent damage in my intestine from the ulceration. So I have something called SIBO, which is chronic SIBO, small intestinal bacteria overgrowth. And that means that the bacteria in the colon moves into the small intestine, and that's really my next book I'm going to write, because for the last year and a half, I've just been this wild woman figuring it out.
I love it. All right, well, what we're going to do is we're going to share Me's story on BloomTampaBay.com. And here's the good news, because I feel like a lot of these interviews just can't last long enough. So Me is sticking around because Bloom Tampa Bay's digital reporter and producer Brody Waddell is waiting for us in the Bloom kitchen to put some of Me's cooking tricks and tips into action. See you in a second in the kitchen, Brody. We'll be right back. You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, saving lives through early detection. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today. Living the Tampa Bay lifestyle means enjoying the sand, sun, and outdoors fun. So get out, get active, and nurture those healthy habits. Hey there, I'm Gayle Guyardo, host of Bloom. Now there's a new all-inclusive place with everything you need to shape your lifestyle, boost your health, and improve your wellness. BloomTampaBay.com, Tampa Bay's premier health and wellness website, made to help you feel good. Whether you're a fitness fanatic, beauty buff, or just want to take your first step towards positive change, this free website is for you. See the Bay Area's hottest fitness products, the latest workout crazes, and learn nutrition tips from the experts. Plus, discover local events and experiences designed with your well-being in mind. Cultivate a healthy mind, body, and soul. Check out BloomTampaBay.com, your local health and wellness website. That's BloomTampaBay.com. We're back with chef and rancher Me McCormick, who is proof you can cook your way to better health. She authored My Kitchen Cure, How I Cooked My Way Out of a Chronic Autoimmune Disease with Whole Foods and Healing Recipes, and My Pinewood Kitchen, a Southern Culinary Cure. And of course, joining in on all of the fun is Bloom Tampa Bay digital reporter and producer Brody Waddell. And I know you guys worked on a really great article together.
Yeah, that's right. We did. It was a lot of fun.
That was great. Yes, thank you. It was lovely. I was like, whoa, this is nice.
Yeah, it's healing through diet.
That's right. Chef Me McCormick's farm-to-table philosophy.
Yeah, I like that. And you were living proof that this works, because you were just telling us at the top of the show that you were really sick, and now you're teaching other people how to heal with food.
I was really sick. I didn't know how to cook, and I'm well, and my life is about, you know, seeing other people in me, and hopefully they see themselves in me.
And you use ingredients like that we could easily find at the local market, and it's
Yeah.
not too intimidating.
Yeah, they look good.
Well, I love Southern food. I love classic food, and I'm trained first in wellness and macrobiotics and then French classic culinary. So for me, the combination is like, what do we relate to and what we relate to, and then how do we shift the ingredients to eat what we crave and what we have an emotional relationship with. So that's what this is. So this is a delicious salsa, y'all. And it's a salsa without tomatoes, because some people can't have tomatoes.
Right.
But this is also low FODMAP and SIBO friendly, which is a big word right now because that means fermentable carbohydrates that cause the gas and the bloat, and then you feel like a goat.
Yeah.
And so we want to get rid of the goat feeling, the bloaty goat. We don't want to be a bloaty goat. And so this is great because it doesn't ferment in the colon and move its way up to the small intestine. So I'm all about gut wellness. I've got these gorgeous, different oranges because you want the color. Everything is about color. And so I've got them in here. And if you're making this and you're taking it somewhere, do it separately because these are juicy and we want to be mindful of that. So I've got that. I've got a little lime. I'm going to give it a little squeeze of lime juice because that adds another layer of citrus. And you know, oranges we know they're loaded with vitamin C and we know they support the immune system, but they also help us absorb iron. So we want to eat our vitamin C foods. And then I've got over here some green onions. So if you're low FODMAP and you got the IBS, you don't want to eat the white part of the onion, only the green.
Okay.
And it has more vitamin C than an orange, did you know?
I had no
I did
idea.
not.
So remember, no bloaty goats. We're going to put the greens in there. And then I've got cilantro. Cilantro is delicious, y'all. It's also full of antioxidants. I've got some jalapeno peppers. Now, if you're sensitive to peppers and spice, you can skip it. But, I mean, they're finding out, their study, this is what I love. Food science is catching up. And every day it's learning new things. So we're finding that even spicy foods that we think would hurt our digestive tract can actually help heal it. So I'm all about the spice.
So,
right.
do you like the kick, Brody?
I do like a little kick
do
in
too.
my
I like
food.
a kick. It like inspires me
Yeah.
when I get a zing. And cucumbers. So you know why we want to eat cucumbers? Because they're loaded with water. And when we eat foods that have water in it, we create smooth moves.
There you go. Smooth moves.
2 for 1, huh?
Yeah.
And we want to eat water. We don't want to just drink, you know, giant things of it. We want to eat it. And pomegranate seeds. So if you're low FODMAP out there and you're going, wait a minute, pomegranate can't have it. It's all about serving because it's about finding the balance of what feeds the bacteria in the gut and when you go over. So a 1/4 cup of pomegranate will not cause the bloaty goat.
Okay.
All right.
And then all we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of maple syrup. So the sugars that don't ferment are maple syrup and sugar. So the alcohol sugars can ferment. So nothing is bad. Everything is good for the individual. So maple syrup at 2 tablespoons does not ferment and does not disrupt the gut. So we're going to have a little bit of maple syrup.
Wow.
And then we've just made this beautiful salsa.
Now can we start tasting?
Yeah, it's
All right,
so
Brody,
good.
dig in. You ready?
There's like syrup and
I love
I think you should
this.
taste this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
taste
one
this
has
one?
all
Yeah, I
the
was gonna
good
say, do
stuff.
the fresh
Let's do
one.
that
Yeah,
one.
do the fresh one. Get in there and try it, however you want.
All right. I'm
Don't
going
be
to scoop
shy.
it up. Not one to be shy. I am going to break
But you know, that's the thing to me is it's like we want to make things bad. We're like, that's bad. You should. It's bad. But
Right.
everyone is individual, and that's my favorite part of what's happening in the world is that we can now find foods that support us individually, and it's all about the individual health.
And this is like such an easy recipe for you to put together at home. Isn't it amazing?
that maple syrup's really good on there.
It's like a zing. It's zingy.
Perfect.
Do you like it?
Wow, I did not
like
expect
it.
that.
I absolutely love it. This is amazing. What we're going to do is we're going to share this story and this recipe on bloomtampabay.com. I know you had this great article, so you're going to definitely want to, we'll link you to
We'll read
Brody's.
that, please.
Yeah. And we're super thrilled. Me joined us on our podcast, the Bloom Health Club and the WFLA Now Streaming Center to continue this incredible conversation. You can stream the full episode anytime on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this. You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, saving lives through early detection. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today. Welcome back. Becoming a dynamic woman starts early in life for many. Our next guest took on a leadership role in college and created her own club, Happy Tales, that raises thousands of dollars for shelter animals by bringing college students together alongside the Merciful Project and a fitness and health organization called The Movement. Irina Nadia Kona is making a tremendous impact in our community as a young dynamic woman in Tampa Bay.
When the Merciful van pulls up with adorable puppies inside, everybody's heart overflows. Volunteers parade in the pups while Happy Tail members set up a safe environment for a puppy Pilates class on University of Tampa's campus, an idea that came about from Happy Tail's founder.
I'm studying business and psychology, so I believe very heavily in the power of animals for your mental health. So I thought, what a better way to help the students on campus with their mental health than bringing puppies. Merciful Project is a local animal rescue we work with. They only run off a donation, so when I rescued my little girl here last December, I wanted to give back to the people who saved her, who saved me. So we have events like this multiple times a month, and we bring the puppies on campus. We ask the students for a small donation, whatever they can give, and we've raised $7,000 in the past year for the shelter, and that's gone towards life-saving surgeries, vaccinations, medications, things of that nature. It's been really nice. We've instilled a lot of leadership in the students at UT, and I hope that when I graduate soon that the club will stay up and running and we can save them all, hopefully.
The Movement, a fitness and health organization that helps build communities in Tampa Bay, leads the classes, which is a fun way to get in shape, and believe it or not, the puppies benefit too.
So this helps them socialize, feel the love, and we believe that animals or dogs, cats shouldn't be in kennels. So when they are in foster homes, they're actually socializing more and feeling that one-on-one attention. And this specific event, the Pilates and Puppies, helps them, learn how to be held, learn how to be around people, how to turn in their backs. So it's a win-win.
Another bonus, the students are motivated to help the puppies.
The majority of dogs actually, or the puppies that we bring today, they get into foster homes. So a lot of the students, they come and what they want to do is they want to foster and take care of these animals while they are going through college. And the best thing about fostering when you're a student is that we provide all the supplies that you might need.
And joining me now in studio is the president of Happy Tales U Tampa, Irina Nadia Kona, who is a senior at the University of Tampa, along with her service animal, Mila. It is so great to see you again.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Well, first of all, congratulations on creating such an incredible club. And now you're up to $8,000 raised after the story that my intern Lily and I, who's also a UT student, went out and shot that day.
Yeah, actually, me and Lily have had a class together before, so when I saw her, it was nice to see a friendly face.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about why you mentioned in our story that you have a passion in combining what you're studying at the University of Tampa in your club, and hopefully this might also parlay into your future.
Absolutely. So when I came to college, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to study. It sounded pretty daunting, but I thought, well, I've been working since I was about 10 years old. I've always had a very strong work ethic, so let me incorporate business, but also business management allows me to be a dynamic leader in this way where I don't necessarily have to just follow one sole path. And then psychology, it was really more of a hobby for me. I love learning about people and learning about different walks of life and where it takes you. So I wanted to combine the two and to help inspire other young students and young women like me to create the change that they want to see in the world and be proactive in making tangible results in your community.
Yeah, and it was cool. You mentioned the other young girls in leadership roles. It was like watching a well-oiled machine out there. We got there before a lot of folks arrived, and we kind of watched you put it all together on the UT campus. And, from putting safeguard fencing up for the puppies, to receiving the puppies, to working with different organizations like the shelter, like the movement. It's kind of cool. You're bringing small businesses all together and elevating them as well.
Absolutely. That's something that's always aligned with my values, is supporting smaller businesses. My parents are immigrants, so growing up, the value of money was always made very clear as they had to struggle to come to this country. So I always make the most out of all of my opportunities, but at the same time, I wanted to figure out a way for me to target freshman students specifically and say, hey, you know, even though you just got here, there are leadership opportunities for you early on. So most of our volunteers that come on a daily basis or weekly basis are freshmen, which is really nice because then I know that the future of the organization is in great hands because they've already taken on so much leadership. Actually, just this weekend, one of them planned an event at Planet Smoothie, and that went really well. 15% of the proceeds went to the animal shelter.
And I think it's so cool too, because this also creates community. Because when I first got to college, I remember feeling lost. I didn't know a lot of people. I felt very far away from home. And eventually I found my path by opening the door to students right when they step foot on campus must make a huge difference, especially in their mental health.
Absolutely. So I am known on campus for being very open and honest about my mental health, especially because I have a service animal. So, you know, everyone sees her walking around campus and in class with me and they wonder why. And I think it's really important to normalize mental health issues and have everyday conversations about them, because there's no human on the earth who is never going to suffer from some mental health issue. And I think that it's really important that we not only be kind to one another, but teach ourselves how to, you know, make it normal and make it just human. You know, not everyone is going to always have a great day every day, but that doesn't mean that you can't, you know, be the change that you want to see in your world and other people's. And I think I've seen so many students be positively impacted physically and mentally, especially at our puppies and Pilates events, because you get that exercise aspect, but you also are boosting your serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin levels. So as I study psychology, I love focusing on those positive hormones, and oxytocin is the love hormone, and I'm very grateful to be getting it every day from this little one.
So cute. Well, thank you for sharing your incredible story, and congratulations. Good luck with your bright future, as I know it will be.
Thank you so much.
Of course, and we're going to share Arena's story on BloomTampaBay.com, and I'll also connect you with the Merciful Project and the Movement Tampa Bay. But first, it's time for today's Bloom Trivia question. Which is the most popular dog breed of 2024? French Bulldog, German Shepherd, or Golden Retriever? We'll have the answer later on Bloom. Welcome back. The My Fairy Godfathers just wrapped up a huge fundraiser in Tampa to support their mission to help young girls and women by giving them the gift of beauty through extraordinary experiences. One of those women was spotlighted at their big event.
Andrew and Steve will always be a part of my village that put me back together when my world had fallen completely apart. The true definition of God sent. Because I have no idea how they knew exactly what I needed when I needed it.
Joining me now are the esteemed My Fairy Godfathers, Stephen Anderson, along with Andrew Ashton. Gentlemen, as always, it's so great to see you, and congratulations. You raised close to $225,000 again this year.
Thank you.
We did.
Yeah,
it was wonderful. It was a wonderful night. Unisha was a big part of that, though. She shared a story that, like a lot of women that we help, she shared her story and told her story, and it was wonderful. And that would, you know, that's what brought the community together as well.
Yeah, and her story was really quite sad. She was getting ready to go to prom. She had a very, very close relationship with her father, who passed away not long before her big day. And that's when you guys stepped in. So tell me what happened after that.
Well, Unisha's father was found murdered about 8 or 9 months prior to the prom. And he had always told her he wanted her to become a senior because he wanted to give her the prom of her lifetime. So we happened to meet, and we met Unisha, and that's kind of when
she was, it was a sad meeting, but, you know, it turned out to be a really great, you know, thing for us as well as for her. And we, you know, she has now transformed her life from what it was to being an entrepreneur, and she has started her own podcast. She is the mother now of a little boy, and she really has done so well for herself, and she's teaching other women to do the same thing. So she's kind of giving back to the community, you know, from what happened to her. She's now trying to foster that as well.
And we're looking at your incredible work. Is this what she looked like at prom?
That was her prom.
That was at the prom, yeah. That was probably 7 years ago, too, so.
Yeah.
9.
9 years ago.
9
Wow,
years,
9.
man. Time marches on. And like
Yeah.
you said, I was listening to some interviews that you guys had sent over from the gala, and she's an educator now. And
Yes.
like everything is going in the right direction for her. And this is what you try to help women do. This is just one example of the many women you help. It could be women that have fallen on hard times. It could be women struggling with cancer. Whatever it is, you step in, and for whatever reason, that magical moment of just feeling special for a minute is a game changer.
It really is, and even Unisha said that as well. She said that, you know, when we came in, it was at the perfect time for her, the perfect timing. We stepped in place of her father. You know, instead of the father, we were the fairy godfathers for her. So, but this happens a lot with a lot of the women we help. Just that one little bit of sparkle that we give to them can kind of transform and change their life.
And what's next for this year? Just helping more women?
We're hoping to, you know, we're hoping to hit the 5,000 mark this year. So, you know, prom season's coming up now, so we'll be busy with that. And we always do our beauty bag drive. We give beauty bags to deserving seniors in all of the high schools here. So we're busy.
Yes, this is
Keeping
good stuff.
ourselves busy.
And we are excited to share all of your stories here on Bloom. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations again on the successful gala.
Much. Thank you.
All right, we're going to share this story on BloomTampaBay.com. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this. You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging. We begin where your checkup ends. Call now, 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today. Welcome back to Bloom's Girl Boss Edition. There are 2 women in the Tampa Bay area behind a super cool startup where you can have a one-of-a-kind experience to cuddle with adoptable kittens, all while enjoying a delicious cup of coffee. Come along with me to Cats and Caffeine.
Some are playful, some have catitude, but they're all ready for their close-ups. I had a chance to check out a photo shoot at Cats and Caffeine in South Tampa, the first cat cafe and lounge where the owners are on a mission to find these felines homes.
So we're partnered with a local rescue, so we house their adoptable cats and kittens. Essentially, Cats and Caffeine is just another foster home for them, for people to be able to come in, see their personalities. They're never caged here, so they're in their natural environment.
Catnip and treats are the go-to for kittens here at Cats and Caffeine, but humans can get a caffeine fix and chill with these cuddly cats, even if you're not ready to adopt.
So the whole purpose is that people can still socialize with the cats without having to adopt.
Joining me now are the co-founders of Cats and Caffeine, Lindsay Marzo and Brianna Rayco. Ladies, it is so great to see you, and thank you for letting me get an up-close and personal look at your business. It is so much fun.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. I know that I had the both of you on pretty much when you opened your doors. Now, fast forward, it's been about a year. How are things going?
Things have been really successful. We've been grateful enough to have over 200 adoptions in the last year. We've had so many kittens come through the door, working closely with our rescue partner, Cat Lovers. They've been a great resource to get us some awesome kittens.
And it's also been awesome to work with the local community for our vendors. We've had yoga events with instructors, so that's been really fun as well.
You have to invite me to one of those. I'll come back with my phone and grab some images of that. I see you brought little Sergeant along with you, and I came up with the idea that somebody needs to adopt Sergeant and then adopt a black cat, name it Pepper, and then you have Sergeant Pepper. That's your old school song for the day. You guys graduated from the University of Tampa's entrepreneur program, and it's incredible. I've met so many young adults like yourself that are thriving after going through that program. So you actually started off by creating a production company.
Yes.
And then the two of you partnered.
Yeah, so my background is in marketing. I graduated with a BS in marketing, but then joined the entrepreneurship program, and that's how I met Brianna. And then she more had a background in helping the community and people, so I really did more of the branding and the marketing, and she really runs the cat part of it.
And we had some video, and you could actually see all the equipment that you guys had there on this scene with the kittens. And well, that one's taking a little nippy nap right now. And it was so fun to see them kind of be able to roam and not be stuck in cages. I mean, this is their environment. And I know that you work hard, and you actually use the leg of your production company to promote the cat. So you're taking these two businesses and you're kind of intertwining them to support one another, which is genius.
Yeah, all of our marketing comes from social media, honestly. Modern Media Group runs all the socials, and the Instagram has just been our biggest lead.
And so talk to me a little bit about how you guys have been able to create success with this, because breaking news right here on Bloom, we're going to announce that Cats and Caffeine is opening up in our Sarasota market. So you guys, obviously, if you're already expanding, so new to the game, things are going really well.
Yes, we're very lucky.
Our turnout has been awesome. We have people come from over a 50-mile radius, and we noticed over the past year that Sarasota, we had a lot of traffic from there. So checked it out and realized it was a great second location opportunity to be able to expand.
Yep, and Sarasota doesn't have a cat cafe yet.
They
so
don't.
It'll be the first in Tampa and Sarasota.
Oh, that's really, really exciting. And I know that the two of you kind of saw the concept in California, and then you brought it here to the Tampa Bay area. And I have to say, I thought about bringing you guys back because my daughter, who's 18 years old now, she and her boyfriend went for an experience. You know, they wanted something to do on like a date night together, and they decided, even though they weren't in the market to adopt a cat, I don't know if they're even legal to adopt a cat. Don't you have to be 21, or does it matter?
We prefer 21 and up, just to make sure.
yeah. So, but you don't necessarily have to adopt the cat to come and help socialize them, correct?
Absolutely. So there's no obligation to adopt. Our mission is obviously to get the rescued cats adopted, but it's a great space for people to come hang out, socialize with the kitties, and it's really therapeutic to be able to be in that natural environment with them.
Well, congratulations to the both of you. I appreciate you joining us again on Bloom, and congratulations on your expansion.
Thank you so much.
Thank you again.
Absolutely. All right, we are going to post Lindsay and Brianna's story on BloomTampaBay.com. And when we come back, meet the woman behind St. Pete's Youth Farm, a place which creates a space to grow food and grow leaders and entrepreneurs when Bloom returns. Welcome back to Bloom's Girl Boss Edition. We're introducing you to incredible women making a tremendous impact in Tampa Bay. There is a place in the Bay Area with space to grow food and grow as leaders, entrepreneurs, and individuals, all while giving back to the community. Joining me is the woman behind St. Pete Youth Farm, Program Director Carla Bristol. Carla, it is such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about the youth farm. How does it work?
So we started in 2019. It was as a result of a Walmart closing not far from where the farm is located, and we hire and pay high school age teens. They currently make $16 an hour, and we'd like to call it a youth development program. Initially, we thought we were just addressing an issue with food, but we realized it's so much greater than that. So we do mental health support, financial literacy. They actually learn public speaking. It's the area for most young people, they say, it's the one place in their life where they feel like they're giving back to the community because of the work with agriculture. 100% of the food is given to the community. We have a lot of events, and they get to lead at every single opportunity we have.
And when you are learning how to become a leader, and the type of leader that understands the importance of impacting your community, that is really a tremendous skill, because I think there are a lot of leaders out there, but they don't know how to take those skills and then help others. And that's really what life is about.
Yeah, and so for us, or one of the things I talk to people about in general is look at your life like a pie. I like desserts. I like to eat sweets. So if you look at it like a pie, then you're going to have to ask yourself, how much time am I giving to my family? How much time am I giving to work? How much time am I giving back to my community? Whatever your faith is, you know, am I spending time with that? So for our young people, when they're learning that to have a full life, part of it has to include being aware of the community you get to be a part of. I wasn't born here. I wasn't raised here, but I live here. My children were born here. And so I think it doesn't matter where I go, that has to be something that's important to me.
That's beautiful. Talk to me a little bit about Connect with Carla B podcast.
So I started a podcast in May of this year because most people think connections are because maybe you're a part of a sorority, some other kind of organizations, but I want to help people understand connections are just about connecting with people, everyday people. And then in the future sometime, maybe those connections will help you benefit your community. But I just think people look at me and say, well, how is she so well connected? I think because I see people when a lot of people don't. And today with COVID and us all going through that together, I think we are the most challenged as it relates to connections. So I think there are people in my community in particular that I want people to know in a different way. So you might see someone, oh, that's our mayor. No, that's a Prince-loving super fan of Prince, you know, and then when you start getting that, then you're like, oh, now you realize that we always have more in common than not, right? So that's a good way of looking at it.
That is a great way of looking at it. And when we were putting the show together and, you know, we were putting out our feelers for like who would be great guests for this particular show, women that are, you know, doing so well in life and they're really making a major impact, you know, in our community and beyond, and your name came up several times.
Wow.
So, you know, how did you come up with this concept?
Which the youth farm?
Yeah.
So I didn't come up with the concept, right? I left corporate America in 2014. I opened an art gallery. I was doing that work and work with the community. It was the community that said, we want you to do this. And I'm like, I don't farm, I don't do agriculture. I even said that during the interview process. That's not what I do. I don't belong to garden clubs. That's not what I do. But what I will do is provide immediate credibility. And where I had a lot of credibility was working with teens. Teens that other people don't want to work with. Teens that people say they won't listen to me. So I decided to jump. I was hired to do this work. And as far as execution goes, I mean, we farm raise tilapia. We create 100% of our own soil, 100% of our own fertilizer. And we're only 4.5 years in. So I can't even, we just got a brick oven delivered to the farm on Friday, more community gathering around pizza. So every single Monday now we do community mental health and wellness that invites the entire community, anyone, no cost, to be able to have that support because it was something that helped our teens. So I didn't realize I had this particular gift. I knew some of the gifts, but this particular gift is a gift because from corporate America to accidental farmer, I mean, that's a stretch. That's a stretch.
That's your title of the book.
I
love that. All right, Carla, you are amazing, and thank you for bringing your gifts and using them in such a special way in Tampa Bay.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And you can learn more about St. Pete Youth Farm on bloomtampabay.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Bloom. There is a heartbreaking reality in our country right now. The millions of American youth who are homeless right now. Joining us to shine a light on this problem and how we can help is the founder of Starting Right Now and the author of If You See Them Young, Unhoused, and Alone in America, Vicki Sokolik. Vicki, welcome to Bloom. It's so wonderful to see you.
Thank you so much, Gayle, for having me.
So I know that this has been a mission that you've been a part of for a very long time. How did you get involved?
So my son came home the second day of his senior year of high school and started telling me about a girl who stood up in his class and announced that she had to drop out of school to go work full time because her house was no longer safe. And I couldn't imagine a 17-year-old navigating life alone and then not getting her high school diploma. And we as a family just jumped in and helped her so that she would have a safe place to stay and be able to go to school. And I came to find out that there were hundreds of kids just like her and couldn't look away. And we just started helping them.
So you wrote the book. How is that being received? I mean, because I think it shines the light on a problem that a lot of people don't even really know exists.
It's an invisible epidemic. Before we even started helping these kids, when I went to testify the very first time in front of the House of Representatives, all of them thought that these kids automatically ended up in foster care. And in reality, they're not eligible for foster care. They're coded as an unaccompanied homeless youth, which means that they're not living with their parent or guardian. And because they left home versus being taken from their home, they're not eligible for foster care. And so they couldn't get their birth certificates or their Social Security cards as minors. Now we have a law that says that they can. They weren't eligible for health care. Now they can get Medicaid. They can get their own food stamps. I mean, we have changed 10 laws at the state level to make sure these kids are protected. But what's scary about it is that there's 1.7 million of these kids nationwide. I know that that number is inaccurate because when we go to interview a student for our program, they're not even coded yet. And so it's probably double. It's an invisible epidemic that I'm hoping the book changes, that we can actually change laws at a national level and that people recognize that these kids exist and should be supported.
In addition to picking up a copy of your book, what can we do to support you?
Well, if you log on to startingrightnow.org, we are always looking for mentors because every single student is matched with a community mentor. There's a wish list on our website, and we're privately funded, so we're always looking for funding.
Well, I think it's really incredible what you're doing. I know I met you many, many moons ago when I was a journalist and an anchor with WFLA, and I'm super excited about your book, and thank you so much for sharing it with our Bloom viewers.
Yes, thank you for having me, and I hope that these kids are seen.
Yeah, definitely. You're definitely shining a light on a problem that I know a lot of people would want to help with, but they just don't know how. And now you have created a vehicle for all of us to be able to support what you do. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And we're going to share Vicky's story on BloomTampaBay.com, and stick around for more Bloom right after this. It's time for today's Bloom trivia question. Which is the most popular dog breed of 2024? French Bulldog, German Shepherd, or Golden Retriever? The answer is French Bulldog. According to Forbes, French Bulldog ranked in at #1 most popular dog breed this year. Labrador Retriever came in at #2, and Golden Retriever is at 3rd. Well, thank you so much for tuning into Bloom today. You can catch Bloom anytime by following us on social media. We're on all major platforms, so get a behind-the-scenes look at all of the innovative breakthrough health and wellness conversations and incredible guests that we have right here on Bloom. And don't forget to check out our podcast, The Bloom Health Club. You can catch it live on Facebook and YouTube on Mondays at 2 p.m. We take a deep dive and have extended conversations with some of the top guests that we have right here on Bloom. Of course, you can stream episodes anytime on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcast. Well, we hope you'll tune in again on the next Bloom presented by Lifeguard Imaging. We are lifting up local, highlighting businesses helping us live healthier lives. We'll take you inside a business using salt to help people heal. And the Today Show's Joy Bauer will join us for this week's What the Health. And wait until you see how she's using Parmesan cheese to give veggies a boost of taste. Stay healthy, everyone, and I will see you on the next Bloom. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.